Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new to this channel, it is all about you disrupting the usual and making meaningful change. Today's episode, we're going to be chatting about you and your self-image and a really neat technique that I coined called the mirror test. And I'd be interested to see what character you tend to default under. So stay tuned to learn more. All right, so it is Jess, your life and transition coach through your inner vitality. And today we are going to be talking about your self-image and how the mirror test can really help depict what is going on with you in your world right now. So let's talk a little bit about your self-image. This is what we say to ourselves, how we present ourselves in the world. It isn't just necessarily about the clothes that we wear or our fitness and our health levels. Really, it is a huge, encompassing, intertwined, complicated, weaved blanket of our world that we live in and we move through on a regular basis. This is a blanket that's almost alive, and these threads are being woven through everything that we say, do, and think. Now, I say this, but it's also the lack of saying, doing, and thinking too that also influences our world and how we present ourselves in the world. And let's face it, I'm your life coach right now. I want you to present and be your best you. When you're out there and being the best you, authentically the best you, this is where you get the best from yourselves. And other people also experience that too. And at the end of the day, you know that I'm here for you. And I'm like, you want the best for you. Don't hold yourself back from all opportunities or miss out on the things that are great for you. However, our self-image, we really do connect our ability to, I say it connect, but we really do connect our self-image to worth, value. Whether we are a contributor in our lives or a bystander, a participant or a spectator in our lives, when it comes to the life that you want to authentically lead for yourselves, you have to be an active participant. And when it comes to your self-image, if in any which way or form you are holding yourself back because of lack of or not enough of, this is where you're not going to get the most out of it. This is where you're going to start to see the sidelines and start, sitting on the curb. And that's not what life's about. You don't want to be letting other people pass their lives by and watch other people live out the lives of your dreams or others. You want to be out in the fast lane too and enjoying it as well. So let's figure out where you are when it comes to being an active participant or being on the sidelines. And this is where the mirror test comes into place. And I physically mean like the actual mirror. So how many times, my hope is you have a mirror of some sort in your life, whether it's to do your eyebrows in, or you brush your teeth in front of, or you get changed in front of and check out the clothes that you're wearing, or as simple as even the rear view mirror in your car. We have mirrors everywhere in our lives. I really am interested to see though, how do you show up in front of your mirror? I'm wondering if you're thinking about that right now. And I always give you guys homework at the end of these sessions. So that with this episode, you are going to be asked to do the mirror test right after this episode. And then I'm also going to ask you to actually look at this whole process of you in the mirror over a span of about 2 weeks. And then this could give you a really good idea of which character shows up more predominantly for you when you look at the mirror. Now, what character, you're asking? Let's dig into that, shall we? When it comes to the mirror test, there are 4 different characteristics that we're going to look at today, or characters, I should better say, for you. I'm going to list each of them down for you now, and then we're going to go back and dig into each of those so you better understand what each of these characters are representing, so that when you go to do your test, you'll know which one is showing up for you at that time. Okay, let's start off with number 1. That is your cheerleader. Number 2 is your inner critic. Number 3 is your comfortable guru. And then number 4 is the invisibility cloak. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, you might know where I'm going with this one. However, you're going to have to wait until we dig into that one after. Let's go back up to number 1 though, shall we? Number 1 was the cheerleader. This is the rah, rah, you got this. We're going to show the world this is what we can do. You're going to be that inner leader of yours that comes out and be like, you got this. The pep rally person, the person that can rally the masses and really encourage the whole world to kind of move together, that group influencer, you know, that cheerleader that just brings the spirit to the game, even when perhaps they're down in touchdowns and, you know, they're got to the final couple minutes of the game. The cheerleader can help bring and boost morale. This is your cheerleader. Now there's pros and cons when it comes to the cheerleading as well, but we're going to dig through each of these characteristics a little bit more before we go back into where the pros and cons can last, or where the pros and cons could end up being when it comes to each of these characters. So number 1, we just went through the cheerleader. Number 2 is your inner critic. Now, this one tends to be a popular one whenever I've given this assignment out to any of my clients. So, you know what? You didn't do the cat eye as nice in this eye. When you're doing your makeup, of course. Or, you know, my gosh, you look at those bags that are under your eyes. Today's going to be a crazy day. I don't know if you got this. I didn't get enough sleep. This is the person that comes out to play to tell you all the things that you're not measuring up to in the world. These are the things where you lack, or you perceive, let me use that word, perceive, that you lack in. Whether you're not pretty enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not muscular enough, or you just not cut out for what you've got going on for the day. This is the inner critic that comes out to play for you. You want to scrub your teeth harder maybe at this point. Did you wash your face well enough? What about that makeup? You know, this is where you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're seeing the imperfections. So the inner critic is a tough one. This guy is tough on you when the inner critic comes out to play when it comes to the mirror. That is number 2. So number 3 is your comfortable guru. This is where you are comfortable with the silence in front of the mirror. You are at peace and at whole with yourself. Even when I'm explaining this to you, I'm more calm. I'm collected. I trust that the day will bring good things. I don't have to pep rally myself. I don't have to worry about the inner critic. I am comfortable in sitting in the silence in that very moment with myself. When it comes to the comfortable guru, this particular person can not only just be comfortable with the silence that they're in, but also deeply looking at themselves and into their souls. This particular person could probably see their eye color when looking at the mirror. That's how present they are with this particular moment. That is your comfortable guru. Now, number 4, your invisibility cloak. This is where you may do multiple tasks in front of the mirror, whether it is brushing your teeth, your hair, checking out your clothes, whatever it may look like for you. These things are being done in front of the mirror, but you're not really looking at yourself in the mirror. Have you ever been at that point where you've brushed your teeth, you've maybe even put on your makeup, you've maybe even done all the things like a clothes check, and you realized, I don't even know if I really looked at my clothes or if my makeup was okay. You stood in front of the mirror maybe for the 2 minutes that you're brushing your teeth, but never really fully looked at yourself. You perhaps have other things on your mind. You're maybe planning out the rest of your day. Unconsciously, you haven't really taken the time to look at yourself in front of the mirror. In fact, you probably could have benefited just as much as staring at a wall while you brushed your teeth as you did in front of the mirror, because you really weren't seeing yourself or paying attention to the reflection that was looking back at you. So that is the invisibility cloak. Now, I've just broken down each of these 4 different characters. Now, each of these characters, though, have some tendencies that I want you to also pay attention to, because some of these tendencies are awesome and the reason why you may want to keep this characteristic up. And some of these tendencies may not be so great. The other thing is, I want us to start looking at and creating awareness with who comes out to play when we look at a mirror and when that is actually happening, because we can actually start using these different characters in mirror tests to influence and help us through different things that we're working through in our everyday life. And that is what we're going to start chatting about now. What did you think of the episode? If you like it, give it a thumbs up. And also, make sure that you subscribe. Hitting that bell can also make sure that I am going to notify you every time a new episode comes. Now, this wasn't the full podcast episode, so if you want to hear that, I encourage you to go and check out the podcast through Your Inner Vitality, and it's available on all major podcasting platforms.